Internet, thank you once again for joining me to talk all things vertical drama. It's a year ago since we ran the first round of the Vertical Drama Love Fan Awards, and so to celebrate that and the fact that the Fan Awards are happening again, I'm catching up with a few of the winners. We have a winner here. Please could you introduce yourself to the internet and tell everyone who you are and what you won?
Hello, everyone. My name is Nick Ritacco, and I won the Villain of the Year award. It was actually very, very fun getting to to post a Villain of the Year sort of out of context for some friends and family. Not quite, not quite sure what I had won, but the Villain of the Year was, yeah, it was great.
My first question is, of the roles that you had done in 2024, were you surprised that M in Crash on an Unwanted Princess was the one that fans really, that was the one that they were like, that's the one that's Villain of the Year?
Uh, no, I wasn't surprised just because it felt like the first, sort of the first dipping our toe into a more complex villain as opposed to one who truly is involved in the plot but isn't like making the whole thing happen. Is a huge problem that needs to be solved as opposed to just causing problems the whole
Mhm.
time. And so I was very flattered that fans watched it, loved it, picked up on that, but not surprised that those who had engaged with that show were like, "Hey, this is a little different. This is like some James Bond villain, world domination style thing." So
I like that comparison because it is a bit, he like plays with his prey, which is
yeah,
beef.
there's this manipulation. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Do you remember where you were when you found out that you had won?
Where was I? I think I just woke up one morning, LA time, to a video that you had sent UK time
Mm.
to a lovely little video message that I
Mm.
had won the Villain of the Year. But yeah, I think I was just at home with my cat.
And then once it got announced with the ceremony, and you were amazing because you were in the middle of a house move as well.
I was, yeah. There you can see in the background my very abbreviated, yeah, boxes everywhere, and yeah, just mayhem all around me. But yeah, I remember, yeah, doing that very abbreviated speech, and in the middle of my move into this new place, and but yeah, just full of gratitude for everything, just loving all the momentum that the awards got as well.
Was there particularly a reaction, like from fans? Kind of, has it changed anything for you? I guess is what I'm trying to say. Because you've done very well, and you have not been pigeonholed as a villain, so that hasn't happened.
No, that's well, I'd say from the fan perspective, they, I think if anything, it just sort of got people involved in watching more of my work in general,
Mm.
which is always great, always great, and them sort of enjoying the other villain roles that I've played, the sort of loving to hate you sort of
Mm.
situation, but also just a lot of people highlighting and appreciating that when I am, yeah, when I do get fortunate enough to play that kind of role, to be that person, like that I'm trying to bring something to it more than just the sort of standard vertical tropey villain who just causes problems. I'm trying to bring that. Sometimes it's a tough task, but from the fan perspective, yeah, everybody was really fun and supportive and great. But yeah, I've not been pigeonholed whatsoever. I played less villains this year, a couple fun ones, but a lot less villains this year, and so I'm sure that the nominations for me as Villain of the Year in with no context, I'm kind of like, huh, what shows are we going to pick? but,
No, it's
um,
true. It's a little harder. It's stressing
yeah,
people out. I can tell you. I've had messages like, "Doop, doop, what the-"
what
yeah.
show? There's one
Um,
show that I was in this year that felt that I brought a lot to it that I think it could fall into the Villain of the Year status. But I've already been very loud about my opinions about who should be winning this award this year. So
um, I would also say in your household, there's someone else who's
yeah, uh, is she
just
listening? She
saying
knows.
she's
Yeah,
she's done a good job this year.
she's spectacular, and she's actually gotten to do about, I think she's been about 50-50 this year in terms of leads and villains, and, she's found a way for her. I don't think it was quite as fun for her to be the villain last year as
Mm.
compared to this year. She's found this stride that she's gotten herself into with playing the villain. She just loves it, yeah.
But yeah, I feel now that like obviously you've both got great chops. I want like a Ritacco Multrim like remake, like a rematch, whatever, but with you
Yeah,
both as villains and
I
just like
think
running rings around each other. That could
I
work
think
very
that'd be
well.
so much fun. I think that'd be so much fun. That yeah, I mean, we've only worked together twice, and both times it's been leads. But I think us causing a bunch of trouble together would be quite exciting. And I bet the fans would enjoy it too.
Work. Right, there we are. We've just given you a free pitch.
Yeah, no, hey,
Platform.
I'm in. I'm in. Let's yeah, we'll start the momentum on that.
So looking back over your roles in 2025, and obviously there's lots, which one stands out as the most physically demanding?
The most physically demanding, over this past year, 2025,
Yes, it's just 2025.
the most physically demanding is probably one that has not come out yet, but it was one that I shot for a new client, Procter and Gamble. It was it's going to be on a new app called Pixie, but it's called the Golden Pear Affair. We shot that down in Atlanta, and it's sort of it's an adventure story, and so we're sort of on this adventure, following clues, trying to find the twin sister, and lots of physicality, lots of running, sliding, fighting, falling off of buildings. I have a great slow mo video of myself just hitting concrete harder than than you could possibly imagine. So that one I would say was the most physically demanding. I woke up at the end of that shoot just like completely taxed, but it's a lot of fun too.
Oh, it looks awesome. And actually, I've seen the posters and it's kind of reminded me a bit of like North by Northwest or 39 Steps with that kind
Yeah,
of motion. Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be different. I hope that, people are receptive to it just because it kind of moves. A lot of verticals you end up like, we're in this situation, boom, here's the camera, we're pulled into the scene, we watch, and then we go somewhere else.
Mm.
This one sort of pulls you around a little bit. So I'm hoping that, there's, good reception with that one, but it's a great team and really, I think really well shot, so I'm excited.
Okay. We'll keep an eye out for that. Next question is do you remember which set you laughed on the most?
Oh, so many. Lots of laughter. Oh, I'd have to go back through to remember some of like the specific names. I know that with so I very early, I think it was my first one that I shot in 2025. I'm going to blank on the title. It's a werewolf title. But it was one of my villains, my couple of villains this year, but it was with
Mm.
Eric and Mariah. Alexa was a villain as well, and I was the male villain. Um, it's
That's
like
one.
Alpha something.
I'm looking at
Lu-
IMDb and I can't work out which one it is, but I know the one you mean.
Yeah,
Alpha's
I could.
Gifted Luna.
Well, Gifted Luna, yeah, there we go. Alpha's Gifted Luna.
Mm.
And it was just horrendously outrageous, just an outrageous script and wild time. Um, and I'd worked with Mariah and Alexa a couple times for my first time working with Eric, and we just had so much fun. I mean, just about every scene he showed up and punched me in the face. It's just complete high comedy.
Yeah.
And we just had lots of fun BTS videos, and we were freezing. It was January, and we are outside in Bakersfield, and they kept we were messing around with like there was some CGI stuff that was happening, but in order to make it happen.
Mm.
I had to do some really silly things just that looked silly out of context. And so, yeah, I probably laughed the most on that set. It was a great way to start the year.
It's kind of a worrying theme, but you did get punched in the face, notably again in Campus Rivals.
By Adam Santa Cruz, my favorite. Yeah, yeah, I guess. Well, when you're playing the specific, I guess that wasn't a villain. I was sort of like a sidekick in that one. But
You
a lot
weren't a
of times,
villain. It was kind of
no,
undeserved, I feel.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, it was very undeserved. I just kind of took it too. I just kinda took it. We laughed about it. How this,
Yeah.
just needed to wake me up a little bit. As
Yeah. Of your roles, which one was the most emotionally rewarding?
emotionally rewarding. Ooh, I mean, probably. Irresistible Love with my brother-in-law, or my Love Always Finds Its Way is the title I prefer.
Yeah,
But
understandable.
Irresistible Love with My Brother-in-Law is the title that sort of took off. But that's the one that I got to shoot with Brooke. And we sort of felt, because we hadn't worked together in a year, but we'd both worked a lot in 2024. And so we
Mm.
sort of felt trusted by being cast together again. Just like, hey, like you two, not only are you great to work together, but like you are a viable option as a vertical on-screen duo. And so we poured a lot of love into that one. And the set was great. We ended up with just like a wonderful cast. And it was not your normal love story, right? Like this was like she's pregnant with my brother's child the whole film. And so finding like the nuances in that and trying to, yeah, just trying to pour all the love that we had into that one, and then the payoff was really great. The show did really well. People seemed to not only love it but loved us together in it, and so yeah, I'd go with that one.
I think that's true. It's one that people go back to and still talk to me about.
And it was the very beginning of the year, and so I've actually found it's been kind of fun with the awards coming up, being like, oh, that was in 2025. It feels like 4 years ago. We shot that last year, and the stuff that was early on in the year sort of got glazed over in my brain a little bit. But yeah,
Um, what role would you say either felt like the biggest opportunity or was just most different for you? What was one where you felt you got to step outside a bit of what you've done before in verticals?
outside of my comfort zone, let's see. A lot of them were pretty darn standard. I played a couple of professors this year, but like it wasn't. I mean, the plots generally were the same. I was just more so
Mm.
this, just like, huh, I'm playing a professor.
Yeah.
um, there was one that was pretty fun that I shot with Fumero Films that was on App Shorts. Um, I shot two with them. One I played the villain in. That was How to Fake True Love in 2 weeks.
Mm.
But the other one was Revenge. Oh, I'm gonna blank. It's a revenge story with Candace.
True
Um,
Heiress's Perfect Revenge.
True Heiress's Perfect Revenge. With Candace,
Okay.
and then Island was the villain in that one.
Cool.
But that was a fun. Um, that was a fun role to bite into. Great cast, first of all, but then also it's this male lead, this token male lead in a vertical, but not necessarily the aggressive type, just like this very much like comforting, sort of like not passive, but like completely supporting of the badassery that the lead female is taking
Mm.
part in. And so that was kind of fun to take a step back and be like, I would normally be trying to protect you,
Mm.
and now here I am just kind of being like, all right, how are we going to solve these problems? And like, let's get this revenge and get you out of here, and all of that. Which was, yeah, just a real ton of fun, and not the type of male lead that I'd really had the opportunity to play before.
Yeah, I feel like you've done a good job of moving into male leads that a little bit more partnership because obviously CEO trap
CEO
as
Trap,
well. And it's a bit
which
more
is
like
the
they're
yeah.
partners helping each other rather than, as you said, that very much me man, me protect.
Exactly. And you said which one was a little out of the comfort zone. CEO Trap ended up being very much in the comfort zone, but the same style, right? Is I'm not
Mm.
the secret agent, she is, and we
Yeah.
had so much fun. The comedy there was a version of that script where I felt that we could have taken the leap of me trying to do all of these super heroic things and failing at it. We didn't quite go there, but yeah, I just constantly being impressed by the badassery of Jessica Jacoby in that one. And me just kind of sitting back like, wow, all right, cool. This is great. I love being rescued. Why don't you pick me up and carry me off? That was a lot of fun. So I think there's room for that style of comedy in the space. I think people really were receptive to those shows. So I'm hoping we see more of that this year.
And then just talking slightly more generally about the industry. Obviously we went from the beginning of the year, there weren't really any press articles to, I mean, it is a little bit sometimes like, oh, look, a press article. Oh, look, Nick's in it. That's awesome. We love it. What's that been like? Was there one that you were particularly like, oh, wow, okay, right. I'm in this. This is a bit of a deal.
I there because there have been so many, and I find that yeah, you're right. Like the first half of this year, there wasn't much press whatsoever, and now I feel like there's news about verticals every day. And that to me is already like a bit jarring. It's just like, oh, like this is my industry. This is how I pay my rent is this industry. And just about every day there's some new publication that's putting out stuff about verticals. But it's been, I mean, no, it's been wonderful and exciting to see either my picture, featured in something, or there's a couple of articles that I was interviewed for, and then the Procter and Gamble um, vertical, which should be out sometime, I think, sometime this month. Um, just having the publications sort of hype that one up was great. But the one that for me was the most like, oh my gosh, that's me, was when I actually did a full on interview with Variety for their sort of spin on the vertical space and SAG, just because they needed opinions of actors in the
Mm.
space on what that was like. And so for me, getting that interview, them using a lot of what I said, a lot of my quotes ended up in that article, and then of course my picture up there, and Brooke is in the picture too, which is I was like,
Always a
hey,
bonus.
look, always a
Stars.
bonus. So yeah, that Variety article about the verticals and SAG and how do they come together. That one for me was I was very just very proud of, and I got that interview because uh, the the guy who wrote the article was interviewing people at Flareflow. He was interviewing Paul Ruddy, and he was like, "Hey, just need an actor who you think would be really knowledgeable on this." And Paul gave him my name, and like so many times in my career, Paul has opened a door for me. So I'm very grateful for that.
There's a lot of love for Paul Ruddy here. Paul Ruddy
I
is
think
life's
you did an
wonderful
interview,
people.
right?
We love
Yeah.
Paul. Um, and I love that as well, because there's something satisfying, isn't it? Apart from the fact it's variety of just like, oh, actually, I've been able to give my opinion and that's been put in
Right.
there. And that's quite nice just to have your words and thoughts respected like that. So congratulations.
Completely. Yeah, no, it's an industry where it's tough to have you wanna have your voice heard, to an extent. You wanna
Mm,
have your voice heard, and finally I was like, "Oh, great, like, this is, not only, are they doing that, but they're finding what I say to be of value." It felt yeah,
mm.
so it felt great.
And then now we're in 2026. What are you most excited for in 2026, career wise?
Um, I am, uh, what am I most excited for, I think, is, it's going to be opportunities that are a little bit different than we've been experiencing in the vertical space. I'm hoping that there's a movement towards more, I don't want to say independent verticals, but sort of riskier in their mind, takes on things, different genres. I yeah, I'm gonna be part of a genre that hasn't been tapped yet. That's my next show. I'll tell you about that once we stop the interview. But I think you'll be excited about it. But yeah, just sort of finding where I can fit into the space that is not just as an actor, but also as a creative. Possibly trying to produce some work. Just seeing the space change and grow into something that is versatile and not just this one thing over and over again. So that's what I would say I'm most excited for. I think there's a lot of wonderfully talented, hardworking people in the space, and I think it's time that after 2 years of everybody sort of working constantly. I mean, some of us, I'm in the 40s now in the amount of shows that I've done in 2 years. That's a lot of experience to understand how the space works. So I'm hoping that a lot of us are given some opportunities or create our own opportunities to do more than just act, but to storytell in different ways. So that's what I would say I'm most excited for is the space as a whole.
You've also done a wonderful job because I think you've kind of answered my next question, which would what would you say is one of the biggest opportunities verticals has given you? But I'm guessing you might say see what I've just said.
Yeah, yes, to see what I just said. But yeah, I mean, the biggest opportunities that verticals have given me, I think, just to piggyback off that is this massive community of talented people that the industry just didn't work like this before. verticals, right? It just wasn't as quick. If you were on a TV show, you'd be on that show for 6 to 9 months, and you'd work with that team of people, and then off you'd go to do something. You know what I mean? But we are constantly sort of flowing in and out of work with each other in a way that has made us all um, used to doing that, and has created this massive network of talented, hardworking people. And so the opportunity is us being ready to sort of take on whatever it is that comes next. So yeah, I would say that the biggest opportunity is whatever we decide we want to create with it. And that includes you. That includes all of the people who are part of the community, not just the actors. But there's everybody who's reviewing the conversations that people are creating, the spaces that people are creating for interaction. I think all of that is one massive opportunity, and we just have to keep going.
That's amazing. I'm just going to ask you two very quick
Okay.
questions at the end, which
Uh-huh.
on your characters last year, which one, if you were allowed to do it, most deserves a sequel?
Oh man, oh man. Most deserves a sequel. It's tough because we jokingly write sequels for all of them while we're on set, you know. Um, I I would love a sequel for uh Anthony and Amelia in
Oh,
the
yeah.
one with Broken. I would love to see, like we have the child now, but like now there's raising the child is another
Oh,
challenge, and the friction that puts on our relationship, and other mafia issues that arise. I think that yeah, the Love Always Finds Its Way Part 2 um, would be a great one. But I think all of them are built to warrant another round. Um,
that works really well because, as you said, there's enough of just the situation they were in is naturally life's challenges. So
yeah,
it's not that thing. If sometimes they've got a happy ever after, and you have to like suddenly rip everything up that happened in the first one to like now we've
yeah,
got a new story. It's like no, there's natural, as you said, there's already natural things that would be things that as a couple they would have to overcome. So
yeah, and it writes itself. A baby already, a slew of challenges, right? And you could write in some more too.
okay, and then this is a really silly question because that was a beautiful answer. So this is just the last one. Um, who would you back out of all your characters? And you're not allowed to say Anthony, but I don't think you would. To last longest in a horror movie. So you're not the villain, but you would just last longest.
Last longest in a horror movie. Um, Probably. I'm just gonna keep. I mean, it keeps hyping up the Procter and Gamble one, but in the Golden Pear Affair, which has not come out yet, we just shot it, but should be out very soon. But yeah, Luca is my character's name. Just sort of has a physical solution for everything, sort of like Indiana Jones style. So I think he would last longest just by like creative problem solving
Yeah.
and quick to action. So I'd go with him, and then for one that did come out this year, which is really what the criteria should be, I will say Alpha Martin Hendricks from it's the werewolf one on Flareflow that I shot with Alexa. The werewolf titles all blend together for me.
Oh, billionaire Alpha's fated mate. There you go.
Billionaire Alpha's fated mate. Just another guy that just sort of physically seems to be able to just quickly take action, defend, fight, no matter the circumstances, and sort of like quickly think on his feet. Creative problem solving is what I value most. So yeah,
I like that because that's what
yeah.
you need, isn't it? Anything is a weapon, anything is a
Everything,
solution.
yeah, everything's a weapon, the solution, yeah.
Yeah. I just want to say thank you so much for all the amazing roles in 2025 and for being a champion of the awards. And yeah, can't wait to see what you do in 2026. Thank you.
Well, my pleasure. Thank you for having me again. And thank you so much for creating this platform for everybody. As I've encouraged everyone I know on social media to do, yes, it's lovely if people vote for me, but just participating in general, I think is like everybody's duty in this space right now, because you created this wonderful platform, and so everybody needs to, if they have not yet, rush to support this space and this platform and just vote.